Is redefining transgender. Officials want to change the definition of gender to a biological condition determined at birth as either male or female. The New York Times reports the Department of Health and Human Services is leading an effort to establish a legal definition of sex under Title IX. Under it, a person's gender could not be changed once it was defined by the genitalia he or she is born with. Joining us now with more on this is Jenna Ellis. She is the constitutional law attorney and the director of public policy with the James Dobson Family Institute. So, Jenna, how does this affect future Title IX cases?
Well, this isn't really the Trump administration redefining so much as going back to pre-Obama era regulations and policy. So this is a very good thing for America, and the faith-based community should be encouraged because what the HHS memo is essentially attempting to do is to go back to that pre-Obama era regulation that says that gender-based discrimination, when we're talking about that and the term sex specifically, is just talking about male versus female. It wouldn't include transgender, sexual orientation, or gender identity language, which is properly excluded from the definition of sex. So hopefully moving forward, not only will this be a good thing to establish a consistent definition within the Trump administration, but it should encourage Congress that we really need to have them act on this to provide a legal definition to make sure that those Title IX cases are clarified.
Why is it important for the Department of Health and Human Services to have a clear-cut definition of sex?
Because they deal with these types of regulations quite frequently. And I think that it's not only important for HHS, but it's also going to be important for any type of executive agency, as well as the Supreme Court, to have a clear understanding of what Congress meant by sex when they originally established Title IX. And so this is an ongoing conversation in American policy, and certainly in the social agenda circles, where the LGBT community is attempting to shoehorn these other types of identities, and really fictitious identities that go against biological science, into Title IX and into the definition of sex. And so for the Trump administration to stand firm to say that sex-based discrimination really is only gender-based, biologically male and female, is not only consistent with science, but it's consistent with the traditional definition that we've had as a country and understood as a country throughout our history.
Some see this law as discriminatory towards transgender people. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, this is just basically going along with science. And so for the LGBT community to attempt, again, to try to create certain rights that are not present within sex-based discrimination, they're attempting to draw a distinctly protected class that really should not properly or scientifically or biologically fall under the definition of sex-based discrimination. And so we can certainly have those conversations. But again, Congress has never passed a law that has recognized that those types of categories, sexual orientation or gender identity, is part of the definition of sex when we're talking about discrimination. And so what they should properly do is go to Congress. But they know, and the left knows, that they can't get that through Congress. So they've been attempting to do this through the Supreme Court, through other policies in the executive branches, and they were relatively successful under the Obama administration. So for the Trump administration to take this very clear stand is very encouraging, not only to the James Dobson Family Institute, but I think with all of our faith-based partners.
All right, Jenna, thank you so much for your time. Much appreciated.